Hi, everybody. Hello, Team Give. I'm Kristen Donahue coming to you from Grand Junction, Colorado with your Team Give call for this week. Super excited to be with you tonight on Sunday, August 28th. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit about why more matters. But before I do, I want to introduce myself because I know there's lots of you that don't know me. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. I live in Western Colorado, Grand Junction. I've got 3 kids, a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, and an 8-year-old, and a wonderful husband. And when Rodan & Fields found me, I was actually working in human resources. I had my own consulting company. I was very happy doing that, was not looking for anything else. But when my good friend Jen Griswold told me what she was doing, I knew I wanted in. So now I've been a consultant for 5 years. There have been ups and there have been downs, but also some really great milestones along the way. Probably my most exciting have been promoting to Premier Level 5 and earning my Lexus about a year ago. So those are all wonderful. The bonuses with Rodan & Fields are just amazing. But still, my favorite part about this business is coaching consultants, helping people build whatever it is that's important to them. So with that in mind, I hope tonight I can help you with a little bit of what could be important to you to make this a great month end. So tonight we're talking about why more matters. It's the end of the month. There are all kinds of big things in the works. So I want to share with you a little story about one of my first month ends. So when I was first in the business, my very first month, I made EC. That was exciting. Month 2 was close to the end of the month, and I had about $450 in my PSQV. I'd worked hard, I'd made reach outs, but really nothing was coming through. So my upline, Jen Griswold, reached out to me, and she asked me what my plan was to get to my goal of 1,000 PSQV, or at the very least to get to EC, so I didn't use my grace. And I just flat out told her, you know what, Jen, I'm done. I've done all I can do. Nothing else is going to happen for me this month. I think I'm finished. I'll start fresh next month. I've talked to everybody I can think of, and it's just done. Now, as I look back on that, as a leader who has been through a lot of month ends now, I know we're never done. But at that point in my business, I just kind of thought, why does it really matter? Why does it matter to do a little more now? Why don't I just do it in a couple weeks? So Jen, bless her, was very patient with me and let me say that, all right, I guess you are done for now. And as it turns out, I did get to EC because I had a PC who just went in and ordered randomly. Never happens. But I got lucky. Well, now I've learned that with 3 whole days left in the month, you are nowhere near done. No matter how you feel in your business, there is more out there for you, and it matters to push for that. So right now we've got 3 days till month end. We've also got convention quals. So for all the people on our team who are going to convention, this is the month where their title matters. And even if you're thinking, I'm not going to convention, why does it matter for me? Well, your leaders will get better training if you can get to EC and you can get to EC and beyond this month. But beyond that, we've also got Lead the Way. The new program just kicked off, and this is the time to start building those good miles. But finally, why does more matter to you specifically? Well, right now, this is setting up our September paycheck. So if you want a good paycheck in a couple weeks, your next few days can make a big difference. So I'm going to share with you now some of my suggestions for how you can add more to your paycheck and more to your business. So these are my top 6 suggestions for adding more at month end and all the way into the future. So number 1, decide right now that you can do it. Ask yourself, do you still have some buts floating around? It is time to put those buts away. If you're thinking, well, I could do it, but I'm busy, I've got a lot going, I've already talked to people, you've got to get your head in the right place. If you're going to see success in this business, if more is going to happen for you, it's time to kick it into gear. You're wasting energy if you're focusing on why you can't do this. You have to get laser focused on all the reasons that you can do this. You have to decide why you will do it and exactly what you're trying to do. Exactly. So do you need $200 more in PSQV? Do you need 3 more PC orders? Do you need one more consultant to get those lead the way miles? Do you need 2 more directs to hit EC? What is it? What are you working on? What do you have to do between now and month end? Have it very clear in your head. If you have any doubt whatsoever that you can do this, then it's time for a quick call with your upline. There's a slight chance that what you're dreaming of really isn't possible, and your upline's the one who's going to tell you. You know, if you started 3 days ago and your goal is level 5 by month end, you probably have a few more months of work to do. But in most cases, whatever goal you've got in your head, whatever goal you started this 1 month with, you've still got 3 days left. You can still get there. And your direct business partner is the one to help you see how to do that. So step 1, you have to make sure your head is in the right place. You can't go into the next 3 days thinking, we'll see. I'll try. I don't know. You have to tell that grumpy negative voice to zip it, and then it's time to get to work. All right, so number 2, you need to triage your business. So if you've ever worked in healthcare, you know that triage means to assess it and determine what needs the attention right away. What's priority? So if you're going to add to your more, which is your paycheck, right now, it probably means new PCs and new consultants before the end of the month. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to list your top 10 people who are close to a yes. Now go ahead, you can pause the video if you need to, but here's what I want you to do. These are not people you wish would say yes. They're not people you know would be great, you just haven't talked to them yet. They're not your dream team. These are people you've actually talked to who are one touch away from making a decision. The ones who are ready to close. So go ahead and pause the video, get out a piece of paper. I want you to write 10 people who are close to a yes. Okay, don't worry, I'll be here when you get back. Go ahead and do that. All right, so welcome back. Here's what your list means. If you have 8 or more people on your list, you just rattled them right off, you've got 8, 10, maybe you even had more than 10, great job. You have done an awesome job of filling your funnel this month, but you need to do some work on closing because you've got lots of people who are very close to saying yes. Now, sometimes we avoid closing. It's kind of scary to ask people for their yes because sometimes that yes might be a no. It might be a not this month, call me next month. So we put those off. We think they'll call me when they're ready. I don't want to pressure them. They'll let me know when they're wanting this. I'll just wait. So if you've got 8 or more people on your list who are close to a yes, it's time to do some work. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to brainstorm with your upline leader the language you need to use to close those people. List them out, determine your next steps, and then for the next 3 days, focus on closing those people. As soon as you get that down to a list of maybe 3 people who are close to a yes, then go back to prospecting, get back to work. But for the next 2 or 3 days, all you're doing is closing those people. Now, let's say your list had 4 to 8 names. Okay, that's good. And here's why. You've probably found the sweet spot. You've been doing prospecting, but you've also been doing closing. That's great. So you have a job in the middle for the next few days. You definitely need to close some people on that list because if more is going to happen for you, you need some yeses. So go ahead and start strategizing some closing tactics for each name on the list. Again, reach out to your upline if you need it, and then do the work. But continue to add in reach outs for the next few days because you don't want that list to get so small that you've got nobody left to close. You've been keeping your funnel full, so keep doing that balance of reaching out and follow-ups. Now, what if you have 3 or fewer names on your list? What if when you were being honest with yourself, the people who were truly just about to say yes, there weren't very many of them? That's okay. But what it means is you haven't been doing enough reach outs. So it's time to kick that up a notch. Challenge yourself to up the ante for the next 3 days. 10 or more reach outs a day for the next 3 days at least. Then you could back off to maybe 5 a day and then return to your normal pace if you need to. But don't forget to work on following up with those people. And in the next few days, the couple names you did have on your list that are close to a yes, they need to hear from you. If you're not sure what to do or what to say to them, Again, reach out to your upline and do some strategy. But those people are waiting to hear from you, so don't let them down. In the meantime, though, that funnel needs to get a lot fuller so that next time you're in a situation of it's time for more, you've got plenty of people to reach out to. All right, so if you've triaged your list and you're ready to start reaching out to more people, then we come down to the question of, well, what should I say and how should I say it? So the third tip I have for you, if you're going to make more happen, is to make sure that you're conveying urgency and excitement when you talk to people. Everyone should get the feeling when they talk to you that now is the time. So sometimes, again, when we're not quite sure how to say it, we don't want to push people, we don't want to intimidate anyone, so we put it back to them. Whenever you're ready, just let me know. I know it's expensive. You just call me whenever. Well, what you're saying to them is exactly the words that are coming out of your mouth. Whenever. It doesn't really matter. They need to know that now matters. It doesn't mean everyone's going to say yes right away, but what it means is you're telling them why it's time to make a decision. The same with our incentives. Sometimes we run incentives and we say, for the next 3 months, everyone will get a free eye cream. Well, why am I going to say yes today if I can get that incentive in 3 months? I think it's always a good strategy if you're offering something to offer it short term, and then you can extend it if you need to. So they want to hear that in urgency in your voice, your tone, your energy. Even if they say no, they should walk away from you thinking, wow, somebody is going to be lucky to work with her because she's excited. She is ready to do this with someone. Also, when you're conveying urgency and excitement, you want to make sure that you remember nobody is doing you a favor. You've got something incredible to offer them. You have products that could change their skin, that could make them feel great when they look in the mirror. And you have a business that could set them up to achieve some financial goals that they just can't get to right now. So you are not offering anyone something that they owe you, that they're doing a favor to you. Instead, you're giving them an opportunity to make a difference in their life. So act like it. Walk with a little swagger. Believe in what you've got to offer because truly it's incredible. And people are going to be glad to have you offer it to them. So what does that mean? Well, use language that means something to them. So this whole training is about why more matters to you. But when you're reaching out to potential consultants or potential customers, they need to understand why it matters to them. So you going for a big goal, please do me a favor and order now, that really isn't going to mean a whole lot to most people. But when you can say, if we get you started on your skincare now, you are going to look great in your pictures for your Christmas cards this year. Imagine how good you'll feel at Christmas when your skin looks beautiful, right? Language like that means a lot more to me as a customer than trying to help you out. So walk like you've got something valuable, talk like you've got something valuable, but figure out why they want to say yes now. What means it to them? Think about their why. What are they looking at this for? And use that language when you're talking to them. If you know they want to have a debt-free Christmas, well, now's the time. Let's put the groundwork in place so that when our new product comes out in October, you've got a great November Christmas paycheck and you're ready to do some shopping without using your credit cards this Christmas. Again, that's going to mean a lot more to a prospect than it would really help me out if you signed now. So convey your urgency, convey your excitement, and let them know why now is the time for them. With this new product that we have coming, with the launch of Australia, there is no better time to start this business because you're getting your groundwork in place. Every single customer that we're adding right now is a customer that's going to want that new product in October. Every single customer or consultant that we're adding right now is someone who might have connections in our new market when it launches. So helping your prospects see that this urgency is not just for you, it's for them too. Okay, step number 4 for making sure that now matters is to quit listening to your own excuses. We're full of them, right? We're all full of them. We're all good at excuses. And in this business, this is a blessing and a curse that you're your own boss. Now, if you gave some of these excuses to a boss in another job, they probably wouldn't listen to them. In fact, you probably would be getting a stern disciplinary discussion, right? But you're your own boss here, so you get to decide which excuses are legitimate. You're the only person who can really push you. Now, I'm not saying excuses aren't legitimate, because sometimes they are. But for the most part, we're all busy. We've all got other demands on our time. Many of us have jobs. Many of us have kids. Many of us have husbands, family members, other people who need us. We all have things that would be more interesting, more exciting, more enjoyable than the thing that's staring us right in the face that needs to get done. But it comes down to whether you're willing to find a way around these excuses or to just stare right at them and welcome them into your life. With everything that's on the table right now, with Lead the Way, with convention titles, with your paycheck hanging in the balance, now is not the time to roll out the welcome mat to those excuses. It's the time to dig deep and believe in your own power. It's the time to carve out even a little bit and get those things done. It's the time to buy a frozen pizza for dinner, let the dishes sit in the sink, get your husband to pitch in with the kids, and kick some month-end booty. Right? If you don't feel that excitement to do this, then check in with your leader for a pep talk if you need it. But quit listening to your own excuses. You've got to push yourself because nobody else can do it. Get clear on why it's worth it, and then get ready to push a little bit. Now, along those same lines, my fifth suggestion for you on how to make more happen is to face your own roadblocks. We've all got them, and sometimes we encounter roadblocks in this business that just derail us. In 5 years in business, I can tell you, I have had my share. I've probably had to re-recruit and restart myself at least 3 or 4 times through these 5 years. So I've faced roadblocks. We all do. We come up with things that we just keep banging our head up against, and we feel like we can't get around them. So you're not the only one, and you're not facing something that's insurmountable. Here's a few examples of roadblocks I've seen just in the past few weeks. I've reached out to tons of people, nobody's responding. I just don't know what to say anymore. I really don't know who to talk to, nobody's left. My husband or my friend or my mom or my sister, they don't really believe in this. I've tried XYZ and it doesn't work. Or, it seems like I'm just not as good at this as someone else. You have your own roadblock. Maybe it's not any of the things I just listed, but we all have our own set of roadblocks. So if you're going to get around them, I have 3 things for you to consider. Number 1, are you willing to adapt? Number 2, have you asked for help? And number 3, are you truly being coachable? So what do those each mean? Well, number 1, are you willing to adapt? A lot of times we have roadblocks that we're not really willing to make any changes on. We want to complain about it. But when someone says, have you tried this? We say, oh, well, that won't work. I've already done that. That won't work either. If you're not willing to make a change, if you're not willing to adapt, then you're probably not going to get around that roadblock. So stop and think for a minute. With the roadblocks you've faced, have you been open to suggestions and open to changing? Or are you convinced that there's no solution? If you really want to get around the roadblock, you have to be willing to adapt. Number 2, have you asked for help? So here's the deal. A lot of times we face these roadblocks and we think we're the only ones. And we just sit there and wait for someone to notice. Doesn't my upline see how hard this is? Doesn't my friend who's in the business, isn't she going to reach out to me and say, hey, Kristen, seems like you're having a tough month? Well, that's nice to consider. But for most of us, we're so busy running our own lives, helping the people on our teams, that it's hard to pick and choose who exactly might be having a tough month. In fact, the assumption, I think, in general is no news is good news. You must be doing okay if I'm not hearing from you. So what I would encourage you to do is don't suffer in silence. If you're having a hard time and you're facing a roadblock, reach up or reach out. Either reach up to somebody in your upline who can help you. Remember, you have to be willing to adapt, though. It's not reaching up to complain. It's reaching up for help. Or reach out. If you have another friend in the business, chances are they face this roadblock too. So just reach out and say, hey, I need a 5-minute pep talk. Now that's the key, 5 minutes. This can't turn into 5 hours where you're sucking their energy and you're sucking yours. You have to be ready to adapt into work. But there are so many people who want to help you. You just have to be willing to put your hand up and say, I'm kind of having a hard time. I need somebody to help me out. So don't suffer in silence. Ask for help. Number 3, if you're facing the roadblock, is make sure you're coachable. When somebody gives you a solution, try it. Even if you're sure it won't work, even if it doesn't really sound like it'll work for you, brainstorm a little how it can feel more like you, and then put it into action. So be willing to adapt, ask for help, and be coachable to get around those roadblocks. What I've seen from all my time in the business is that almost every roadblock we come across can be cured by honesty and action. Honesty with ourselves and with our uplines, and willingness to step in and do something else about it. Figure out what's not quite right, and then commit to fixing it. Number 6, if you want to make more happen right now, before the end of the month, is you need to make some magic happen fast. You're so close to a goal that you're going to have to stretch just a little. So I wanted to give you some final strategies. If you were just a couple orders away from a goal, if you need one more EC leg, or you yourself need just a little more PSQV, here's some things that people around our team are trying that are working. Consider a mini event. Just 2 or 3 people. Invite them over to your house for a glass of wine or a cup of coffee. Tell them, I'm super close to a goal. I really need to pick your brains just an hour. I'll provide the wine. Come over and chat with me. Do a quick presentation and see where that will lead you. Remember, convey the urgency and the excitement, and they'll get that from you. Consider a mini virtual event on Facebook. Now, I don't mean team-wide. I just mean for you. Have your upline help you. Invite 5 to 10 guests, maybe 20 if you want to. The people who are in your funnel, the people who are thinking about it. Share the information you've got and see if you can close those last couple customers that you need. Challenge yourself on 3-way calls. Set up 3 3-way calls in the next 24 to 48 hours. Do it. Get them on the phone. If you get people on the phone, almost always you're going to find some yeses in there. Try a month-end special. So a month-end special can look all kinds of ways depending on how long you've been in business, how many people are in your funnel. It might be a discount off of a whole regimen. It might be offering maybe the next 3 people who comment can have this eye cream at a discount. You have to decide what fits in your budget and what fits in your business. Again, use your upline leader to help you figure out what's realistic for you, but also figure out what you need to get your goal. Don't run specials that are going to put you super far past the goal, because you're wasting money on those specials. Again, also though, don't run a special that's going to get you close but not all the way. Be strategic about what you're offering so that it helps you hit the goal that you're looking for. Offer a signing bonus to some of your top prospects. My favorites right now are either a 50-50, $50 when you sign and $50 when you make EC in the first month, or free virtual convention. Post one of the videos about virtual convention. We've got a few good ones that have come from corporate. And then share that with some of your top prospects in a private message and say, my next 2 consultants before month end are going to get this for free. So get them excited about what's coming. The beauty of virtual convention is that that's going to be a ripple effect for your business. When you have new consultants who go to virtual convention, they are going to get excited about our new products. They're going to get premier registration for the next convention. So good things can happen if they get on that virtual convention list. Maybe even try the I'm looking for 4 volunteers post. Again, you can decide whether you want to discount regimens or not, but when you word it in that way, I need 1 volunteer for each regimen, often you'll find more people willing to say yes than if you just say, hey, who needs some product? I can give you a discount. So a lot of it's not in what you're offering, it's in the wording. The final reason, though, that more really matters right now is you have to consider the big picture. Yes, paychecks are nice. Convention titles are fun. It's great to hit our goals. We want lead the way miles. But none of those are really the reason you started this business. If you're going to put those 6 tips into work and get your more in these final days of the month, you're going to have to dial back to your why. What makes this business meaningful to you? Maybe your why is way too big to accomplish in this month. That's okay. It still fuels you. It still keeps you going. But remember some of the little goals and bonuses that you've set for yourself along the way. There's going to come a time when it crystallizes in front of you, when you can see clearly how close you are to that why or how far away you are from it. You're going to want it so bad you could almost cry, where you'd give just about anything to get to that why. Do you really want to look back and know that you let off the gas at the end of the month? When you're staring that why in the face and you know you're so close, but you didn't quite do what it takes over the months to get there? Of course not, right? You want to know that you went full out, that you tried right up until the end. Whether you hit the goal or not, you want to know that your energy was where it should have been, that you were working, that you weren't making excuses, you were stepping into action. So don't let any of these final days of the month pass you by. We can all lock arms together and make more happen in a big way. I promise you in the months to come, it'll be worth it. The next time you stare at that why and think about how far away or how close you are to it, you'll know that your whole heart has been in this and that you have tried and run the best race you can run, and good things will come from that. Thank you so much, Team Give, for letting me train with you tonight. I wish you all success in making more happen as we close August. I'll be cheering for you along the way, and I can't wait to see what this brings us with the fall. Thanks so much. Good night.